Okay, first things first, anytime you take your gun apart, you want to always make sure that it's unloaded first. So drop your magazine out, rack the slide open, and make sure that there's no rounds in your gun. Next, you're going to dry fire the gun. Once the trigger is pulled all the way to the back, I like to wrap my hand around the top, pull it back. Do you hear that tiny little click? You're gonna hold it in this position, and these are your takedown bars. It's one bar that goes all the way across both sides, so I usually use my thumb and index finger. I'm gonna pull those down. While I'm holding them down, let the slide forward. It's gonna come right off the top of the gun. When it comes to the slide, there are three parts that you're going to use for field stripping. First is your spring. The spring is under pressure. It's your recoil spring, so give it a little pinch. Now this one is captured, so the spring's not going to go flying everywhere. There are some that are non-captured, so it has the rod in the center and it has the spring that can come right on and off because it's non-captured. This one is captured, so it's not going to go flying all over the place. Next is your barrel. Barrel's going to come right out. So barrel, slide. Reassembly is very simple. You're just doing everything in the opposite direction. So barrel goes in first, flat end here, down, and it sits right into it. It looks just like it did before. So barrel is in, it's going to sit right into its groove. When it comes time to put your recoil spring back in, the forward end is going to have a little bit of a nub, the back end is flat. So the nub end goes into the front right here like this. You're going to give it a little pinch and push it down into its space. Now it's even here, it's even along the sides, and if you do this, everything stays in place. That means you've done it properly. Now when it comes to reassemble, always start at your front rails with the back of the slide. Everything falls right into place. Rack the slide back to lock everything back. Now, disassembly, reassembly, there's only a few short steps. It's very easy to follow along with. Always, always do a function test when you're done reassembling your gun. A function test is just going to be, now obviously we just took it apart so we know it's not loaded. Make sure it's empty. You're going to dry fire the gun. Notice how the trigger stays to the rear? It is supposed to. When the slide resets, it should push the trigger back forward to its forward position. So that means that part is working just like it did prior to taking it apart. You're going to put an empty magazine in there and you're going to rack the slide open until it locks open to the rear. That lets you know that that part of it is functioning well also. Always do a function test anytime you take your gun apart. The last time that you want to find out that you put your gun together improperly is in a moment when you need it. Always function test. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to try and get as many more of these videos for disassembly, reassembly cranked out as soon as I possibly can. There's a lot of guns that take down exactly the same as the Glock, but in the meantime, until those come out, you can follow this tutorial. I'm going to put a list of those guns that take down similarly to the Glock down in the description, so you can take a look below and see if your gun is on the list.